kind of Q&A, kind of a chit chat or whatnot. Going to see if I can get my second device here up and going so that way I can hopefully, there we go, hopefully see when you guys pop in and ask questions and whatnot on all that. So with that being said, if you guys want to have a shout out, or if you guys have a question or anything along those lines, um, just pop in and say what's going on, throw your question up or whatnot. I'll do what I can to try and monitor this the best that I possibly can. All right, so let's chit chat for the moment. I'm sorry, I'm kind of moving all around here, trying to get used to doing the live thing. So the first thing that I guess I would want to cover while everybody's kind of popping in here is that I don't know if it's just me or if anybody else has kind of noticed this, but it kind of seems like this is the absolute sickest generation that there possibly is. It seems like, and I know that I'm not entirely, terribly old or whatnot, but it just kind of seems to me that if you go back and you look a little bit in the past, that we didn't have the health problems that we seem to be having today. It just seems like every kid is on some sort of pill or they're diagnosed with something. It seems to me that people that are going for a long extended period of time in their life with no illnesses, no dental problems, no vision problems, suddenly they need glasses, they need dental work. Suddenly, they're getting seen for migraines and just all sorts of things. And it wasn't like that years ago. I'm not entirely sure if something's just changed or something's been put in the water. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole. I just want to see if anybody has kind of noticed that or whatnot. And also, I did a, what do you want to call it, a reel? I think it's what they call it over on Facebook. They've been kind of pushing new creators, giving them kind of step-by-step guides to kind of build and grow or whatnot. And so they were kind of put down a milestone or challenge or however you want to put it, to create a reel. And it took me a minute because I wanted to figure out what I wanted to put in that reel. And so I actually did one on the continuity. So the government has a thing called continuity of government, not continuity or continuation of the country. And if that's one of the things for you to decide on prepping, or maybe to kick it up to the next level of prepping, the government is not here for you. And that is a Ronald Reagan quote of the 10 scariest words in the English language is, "Hello, I am from the government and I'm here to help." And that's pretty true. You go back and you look at everything to see how true that statement will kind of, how do you want to put it, how well that rings true clear up until today. And if you look at it, take a look at Hurricane Katrina. We had advanced warning that it was coming in. You don't necessarily know how bad something's going to get until it actually happens. It was pretty bad, if not really, really bad. But look how long it took our government / FEMA to get something like clean drinking water to its own citizens inside of its own country. That right there, that was just an epic fail. And there's a whole show / series we could do on the failures of what happened during that whole mess of things. It was a sad event. There was a lot of mistakes that were made, a lot of things that we really should go back in history and kind of learn from and whatnot. Um, and I don't even know if I'm still live. I think the thing says I'm live. Half of it says I'm not. Let's see if that works. Let's see. No, we'll just hope that we're still live. Anyway, so to continue on with that, if you look at the earthquake that they had down there in Haiti, that took mainstream media and social media by storm. Plus, I think there was a couple of songs and whatnot. Every celebrity, pop singer, everything was all about the kids down in Haiti, and we must help them. And then you fast forward, it was it 4, 5, 6 months later, they found all that supplies still in the warehouse, completely untouched. And it just goes to show you, it seems like money is always a factor. I believe Magic Prepper did one just here recently, that if you really want to get down into the root of just about anything, it's follow the money, or find out the what they're trying to do in order to get your money or get some sort of money, and that'll give you what their true intentions are. And I think he even broke it down into a better point, that if there is money involved, that they're trying to get some sort of money, whether it be from you, the government, whatever else, then it's something that you really need to keep an eye on, and really needs to be looked into before you do any sort of a trust thing. I have to agree with him on that. Um, it's no longer that people are helping people just out of the kindness of their heart. Everybody wants something. And it's kind of sad. I know that I disappeared for a little bit, took a little bit of a hiatus. I had a lot of things to get done around here, of getting a lot of things into the ground to prepare, a lot of repairs to do, just a lot going on. And I'll give you guys just a quick story, see if anybody jumps in or does anything for a question, which I hate the way that this does this. The way that mine works, let's see. Yeah, the way that this works, you have to turn your phone a certain way, and it's kind of hard because I'm trying to stream and look and do this and cast and over here and doing that. So if I miss you, or miss a shout out, or miss a question or whatnot, I'll get to you, I promise. But I went over because one of my neighbors, I haven't seen her out for a little bit, which was kind of unusual. She's an elderly neighbor. And I was sitting there on the porch, and I was kind of thinking about it, that, it's been a few days. I want to make sure she's okay. And so I wanted to go check. And of course, the little one wanted to tag along with me. No problem. And we walked over there, and he wanted to knock on the door, being the toddler that he is. And the steps groaned quite a bit under the weight of a toddler. And then when he got up there to knock, it bowed really, really bad, her whole porch. I kind of had to snatch him out of fear. And that's when I kind of noticed her porch was kind of askew a little bit. And when she came to the door, I asked, I said, well, what are we going on? What's going on with your porch? She said, well, we're going to fix it. And I said, well, when? Because this doesn't look very good. And she said, well, we're going to get to it. And I've noticed that there is a sheet of 1/4-inch plywood sitting right in front of her door. And so I asked, I said, well, what's going on here? What is this hiding? And she said, no, we're going to get it. And I said, well, no. I said, I'm going to fix your porch. And she kind of argued with me for a minute. No, I don't have money. We're not doing this. I said, no, I'm not going to allow you to get hurt. I'm going to fix your porch. And I didn't want anything. This isn't me trying to put myself way up here. I'm kind of sharing the story just for the thing of, it came through that, is her porch something that belongs in the front of a magazine? Absolutely not. I did it with scrap lumber. The only thing that I had into it is my time. I actually had a neighbor notice that I was out there about halfway through the project, and they came out and helped completely free of charge. And then things started to kind of come together and get donated. I didn't quite have a piece of something, and somebody was like, "Hey, will this work?" And I got done with it to the point that it wasn't. Some of it wasn't treated lumber for a porch. And so somebody said, "Hey, I still got half a gallon of deck stain. Here you can have it. I'm not using it." And it just turned. All it took was that one person, to start it, and then everybody started to come together. Um, and so it's like that kind of in the preparedness community, and having that preparedness mindset is that it only takes one. And so if you take that first step and you start preparing, and you get that extra case of water, and you get those extra can of beans, and you buy an extra box of bullets, and you just do a little bit at a time, and you start putting it away, and you start preparing, and you start taking some classes, learning some new skills and things like that, then that might be what it takes. It takes that one, and then somebody sees you, or overhears you talking about it or whatnot, and then they become interested and they start asking questions. And I understand it. If you're new, you don't have a whole lot of experience to be able to answer a ton of questions, but you might spark it. The people that donated this stuff to me, they didn't have the skill or the tools or different other things to assist with maybe the manual labor part, but they had something to contribute. And so for you, if you guys are new or whatnot, then all it takes is for you to start. And maybe you don't have the skill to bring them in and answer that question, or to bring them to the next level, but you can contribute. You can get them started. Something for you sparked you to make your decision to start preparing for the future. And maybe that's all it takes. Maybe all you need to do is give them that little spark, and just basically passing what sparked for you to spark to them. And then you can help them. Channels like this, and there's plenty of other channels. Um, and actually, let's go ahead and segue into this. Um, there needs to be a lot of channels. There needs to be a lot of different viewpoints. You need to be careful on what you watch and who you follow and things like that. But I'm not going to sit here and say only watch my channel. There's plenty of people out there that's got way more experience and things like that. There's plenty of people have way bigger budget and more tech tools and things like that. This for me is to help. Even if I can help just one, it makes it all worth it. But for me, I made this kind of a just putting it out there, and if it can be used, it can be used. I make no money off of any of this stuff. I'm just doing it to try and help people out. But with that said, to kind of come back a little bit, there's a bunch of channels that I watch. There's people that I agree with. Pretty much 80, 85, 90% of the time. There's people I agree with a little less, 55, 60%. There's people that I watch that I agree with maybe 5, 10% of the time. And I get that all the time. Well, if you agree with them only 5% of the time, why are you watching them? Because I want to see their point of view. For me, I have the open-mindedness that I can watch this person here that is very doom porn, this person here, which is very technical and high end, and that person right in the middle that can kind of bring it all together in that kind of layman's term. And I can take all of them in, and I can see his point of view, her point of view, their point of view, all that, and bring it together to get my opinion, instead of just following one person, two people, whatever, and just blindly following. And that's one of the things. Do not blindly follow anybody. You got to remember that even if you have family, friends, loved ones, a mag, a tribe, whatever, when it all comes down to it, it is you. You can have people that have been there for you in the past. You can have people that can say all sorts of things and do all these incredible things, and you trust them with everything. And maybe there is some people out there, but when it comes down to a certain situation, I really don't want to get into a bunch of these, situation-y things, but you take, and I'll just throw one out there so you can kind of maybe follow along with me. I got a best friend guy. We went to whatever school together. I've known him for 30 years. Stayed close, all the other stuff. Got his back, he's got mine. We got all this history, all this other stuff. You get into a survival situation to where all of a sudden it's, I need him to come get me, but his family is over here. I guarantee he's going to go to his family, and I don't blame him. And so that comes down to it. You cannot have the false sense of security of depending on others. Now, to have some people that will help you, that is a blessing. To be able to train and to have those types of people. But you also have to have the thing, because again, this is prepping. 2 is 1, 1 is none. So you always have to prepare for the worst case scenario. And the worst case scenario is you are alone and that you're going to depend on yourself. Now, I know I've preached this before, is that you don't want to lone wolf this. And I guarantee if you take every person in the entire world and put them into an apocalyptic situation, that if every single person lone wolfed it, you would have point something percent actually survive. It's the lone wolf is just not going to be the thing. And really, people are a social creature, a social animal. We do well with others. We do well with teamwork. We do well as kind of packing together. Now, you get too big, and that also creates a ton of problems and things like that. But to make your own tribe, to make your own mag, to do anything like that, in which I have a bunch of people in the chat, and for whatever reason, this thing does not want to tell me who is in the chat. Of course it's not. So, okay. Well, I will figure this guy's out at some point in time. I probably just need to get a computer, so that way I can do this a lot better. So, I don't know. There's 5, 6, 7. And granted, yes, we're a young channel. We're still growing, things like that. But anyway, I'll go back through and try and give you guys a shout out maybe in the chat or in the next video once I get all this stuff figured out. But we have gone, what are we at? About 18 minutes. I really wish that this would actually work out so that way I can chit chat with you guys. What I will probably do is swing over and do a live over on Facebook here in just a couple minutes. So that I know how to work a lot better than how to do this. So if you guys want to swing over and check us out on Facebook, if you haven't, just go to Facebook and search for The Rural Report. As the channel grows, I plan on going to other social medias. I just got to kind of figure out where to go. I'll probably do Telegram next. I've been asked by a couple of people to do Twitter. I'm not entirely sure if I really want to go to Twitter or not. Never had a Twitter account, but we'll see. I've heard a lot of great things over there. So, but I'm going to end this one here. Thank you guys for joining me. I know I rambled a bunch, but I think I'm going to end this and I'll pop over and we'll do a live on Facebook. So just remember, guys, remain united because we're all prepping in this together.